Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to League 87 and our coverage of this afternoon's minor semi-final between Premiers Wynnum-Manly and Redcliffe. Of course, the loser of today's game can say goodbye for 1987. The winner goes on to fight another day, that being the preliminary final in 2 weeks' time. An interesting game, David. I was talking to Redcliffe coach Darryl Vanderveld through the week. In fact, on Friday night at the Brisbane Bullets game, he's very confident, but if you have a look at the Dolphins' record this year against Wynnum, not too good.
Not good at all, Bill. They've actually lost all 4 encounters this year. And if you look back further than that, they have lost 8 out of the last 9 games against Wynnum-Manly. And of course, that wouldn't be a very much a confidence booster at all to the Dolphins outfit. But I'm sure Darryl Vanderveld will have emphasised the fact that's all history. I think this is the very best chance in a long time that they've got to defeat the Seagulls.
And Wynnum-Manly made a few changes, Wally Lewis in particular.
Yeah, it's a surprise for me, that one, Bill, because I think he would have been better off staying at 5'8". For mine now, they put enormous pressure on themselves. Lewis has said himself that he's going to play his own game. Well, for mine, they'll be down a lot forward, and they really had to have strengthened the defence around the rucks because that's where their weakness have been. And I think they've got 2 5'8s out there. So I think a little bit of confusion. They still might win in spite of it, but I just favour the Dolphins.
Okay, so the Dolphins to win?
I think so.
All right, let's take a look at the two teams that will line up in this afternoon's game. Redcliffe firstly, and as you can see, their forward power will be their mainstay today, of course, with the internationals Brian Niebling, Greg Kinescu and Dave Brown up front. Vanderveld's gambling a little bit with his backs, very young back line, and that will be probably their weakness. But if the forward play is anything to go on, Redcliffe in with a big chance, Dave.
Yes, well, let's have a look then at the Wynnum-Manly lineup, and of course the couple of changes around the halves. We've got Brad Samuelson, who's been playing there in the absence of Lewis over the last few weeks, and Doug Belford, who's been in the last couple of weeks for Peter Dawes. A couple of changes there which made us up Wynnum-Manly. And then in the forward pack, who would have thought it? Wally Lewis, wearing number 8, of course, played a lot of his junior football and some of his early senior football in the lock forward position. Be interesting to see whether he can adjust his style of play today to accommodate the harder workload in the forwards.
Okay, so the minor semi-final up for grabs. Let's see how the two teams fare in this afternoon's game. So Redcliffe first out onto the paddock this afternoon, led by their captain Bleakley, wearing the number 8 jersey, and importantly, a last-minute change to the Redcliffe lineup. Cherry comes in to a replacement player wearing the number 14 jersey, and he replaces Jeff Doyle. That will certainly be a tactical change on the behalf of Darryl Vanderveld. Cherry, a much more seasoned player, into Mark Miles.
Wynnum-Manly led out by captain coach Wally Lewis, and this is the first game that Lewis has played since LA, of course, in the State of Origin game, and that was the only game he's played in about the last 6 or 7 weeks. So plenty of pressure on Wynnum-Manly to come up with the goods today.
And the referee for today's game, Eddie Ward, in fact today controlling his 400th A-grade game in Brisbane Rugby League. So a red letter day for Eddie Ward. Congratulations, and I'm sure we'll see him around for a few more games yet.
A magnificent effort by Eddie Ward, and I believe Ray Price has sent up an autographed copy of his biography.
There's the kick-off. Wynnum-Manly defending the scoreboard end of the field, deep down into Redcliffe's territory. Bit of a mix-up there. David, the ground has suffered a little bit from the rain.
Yeah, a little bit heavy, Bill, but I don't think it'll affect the game too much. I think both sides are going to play basically their natural game. We haven't had any rain here at Lang Park for most of the afternoon. A little bit heavy there in the middle, as you can probably see on your screens. But really, I don't expect that it's going to have too much difference to the way this game is played.
Just looking at Greg Kinescu there, wearing heavy strapping on his hand.
Of course, Kinescu has got a broken bone in that left hand, so a courageous effort for Kinescu to play in today's game. Interesting to see whether it does affect his play to any great extent.
Okay, Wynnum-Manly now with the ball, 10 metres short of the halfway line. Scott to get up and play it. Lewis into the dummy half position. That's Turner. Good defence, Redcliffe.
Couldn't put big Turner to the ground, though. That Redcliffe pack is their key, and they must put these big guys onto the deck.
Well, there's David and Goliath. Sandy, probably the littlest man on the field, taking on Tessman. Probably the biggest. Swing it wide, Wynnum-Manly. Lewis. Well, he may be playing lock. He was standing wide on that occasion, though. Into some space. Jamot makes it up to the halfway line. Swing it wide. Samuelson. Puts the boot in. Well fielded by Donnelly. Takes play 10 metres short of the halfway line inside Redcliffe territory. Good crowd here today too, David.
Excellent crowd. I think it should be a top match as well. I think it warrants a good crowd, this one, because these are two of the better sides in the competition. And they'd be hoping a win here today will come up then in 2 weeks' time against, oh gee, that looked like a high tackle from Gene Miles. Sandy not real happy about it. The loser of today's game, of course, is out for the season as Dave Brown makes a good bust.
Gets the ball away to his supports and Bleakley back inside to KO. Fifth and final tackle, just pulled down short of the try line.
Shane Knuth backing up. All he wanted was the ball. He was in for the try.
Little chip kick across Benson. They're following through Redcliffe. But
just over the dead ball line. Took over the dead ball line there. By Donnelly it was. Looked like a set piece, that one from Redcliffe. That's Wynnum-Manly quickly take the tap. Wally Lewis.
Smart move, Wally Lewis. Quickly gets it onto his supports. Oh, good tackle though on Belford. Belford to play at 15 metres or 25 metres out from his own try line. Tessman now. Good defence again from Redcliffe. They're bustling up front. Turner trying to get it out of his own territory. Ball's loose on the ground. Scrum, says referee Eddie Ward. May have been a little lucky then. I thought Brown reefed that ball out.
Yeah, I agree, Bill. I think he did have a hand in there. Wardy just not picking it up though, and we'll have a scrum now to pack, and of course a very important one with loose head and feed going to the Dolphins.
Sandy to put it in, and they come up with it, Redcliffe. They quickly go the blind side. Spenson. Nescu again going for another run from dummy half. Sneaks a couple of metres. And the minute defence swarming on him though very quickly. Sandy directing traffic. Nowhere to go though.
That's where Wynnum-Manly have got to tighten things up. It's around the middle of the ruck. They've had plenty of trouble this season.
Benson. Long pass out to Bleakley. Back inside to Donnelly. Almost up to the 22, Redcliffe. Scored still 0-0. Sandy, Niebling, his first touch for the day. Takes play up to the 22. Fifth and final tackle. Benson, a kick across field. Redcliffe players coming through Knuth. Still, Playhouse is the referee. Knuth again with the ball for the try line. 6 to go, says referee Eddie Ward, just 2 metres short.
Good tackle, that one from Turner on the big winger, and we've got Scott Nichols down in the back play. Hasn't moved after trying to take the high ball. Scott Lewis
into some open spaces. Defence coming across, Benson chasing, that's the halfway mark. Still going, beats the tackle of Benson. They come across the defence, Teven takes him. Well, a silly pass, and Redcliffe have come up with it. Cherry in possession.
Well, that's an interesting one because Lewis knew he was heading for touch, so he threw the ball into the air. When Cherry took it, he should have done all possible to get away from that touch line. Now we've got loose head and feed going to Wynnum-Manly. Great bust, that one from Scott Lewis. Let's have a look at it. Mix up right down on their own try line. Away goes Scott Lewis. He just had enough pace for Benson. He gets away from Benson. There he is, slipping away from Benson. Teven gets him. Let's have a look at it. Lewis then knew he was in trouble. He's going to go into touch. There's where Teven wanted to put him. Up goes the ball. Cherry should have got away from the touch line then as Naylor came in quickly and drove him into touch.
Pity that support wasn't there a little bit early. Could have been a try to Wynnum-Manly. They come up with a scrum win though. At the back line, Samuelson spots a bit of a gap, but Benson's there. He closes it quickly. Redcliffe now under siege. Scott takes play to about 20 metres out from the Redcliffe try line. Running it this time is Jamot. Only about 15 metres out, Wynnum-Manly, applying the pressure in the opening minutes. The score still 0-0. 34 minutes remaining in the first half. There's the run around. Tessman up the middle. Pulled down again, 15 metres short. Can they hold on, Redcliffe? Miles, out to Scott. Almost through. The gap closed.
Steve Cherry, that's what he's in there for.
Miles trying to barge over. Oh, the pass has gone astray though, and Redcliffe have come up with it. And Keogh will be tackled 15 metres out from his own try line. Tapia now goes for a run from dummy half. Quickly claimed by Lewis. It's Knuth, in fact. That's Tapia. The two blonde-headed Redcliffe players. Once again, Kineski going for a run from dummy half. Takes play to the 22-metre line. Benson's back for the kick. Straight down the throat of Scott. Had all the paddock to kick to and kicked it straight down his throat. Scott runs it back, comes up to Knuth. And Knuth will put him to ground 5 metres short of the halfway line.
Scott Nichols still getting attention in the back play, so he's been down now for the last 3 or 4 minutes, has not taken any part in the game since the play was right down on the Seagulls try line. He's just now returning to the play.
Wynnum-Manly on the attack, 5 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory.
There's Scott Nichols coming back now. They're going to need him as Wynnum-Manly make another surge up the middle of the ruck. Wynnum-Manly once again making plenty of ground in the early stages of the game.
Certainly applying the pressure, Wynnum-Manly. Directing traffic, goes to Miles, is forward though.
There's the danger of Daryl Jenner, though. He likes to get his hands free. He did it nicely, but Gene Mile just not timing the run to perfection. Here it is, Daryl Jenner across the ruck. The little dummy first, defence held off, and the pass, yes, it's definitely forward. Had Miles been holding back a little bit, could have been a chance. Sandy breaks the scrum.
Still going Sandy up towards the halfway line. Finally taken down by Scott Lewis. Bit of confusion in the play of the ball. Redcliffe have it just inside of Wynnum-Manly's territory. Their chance to attack now. Dave Brown running strongly. Takes it up. Met by Jenner though. Jenner and Turner combined to put him to ground about 10 metres inside of Wynnum-Manly's territory. They work the blind side. Sandy looking for an opening, and he finds it. Sandy still going, has supports, inside and out. Gets it back inside to Tapia. Tapia will go all the way and score for Redcliffe. Redcliffe lead now, 4 points to 0.
Great work from Redcliffe. Once again, Jamie Sandy, we saw him a couple of moments ago make a good break. This time he brushed away another tackle. He might be the smallest guy on the field. He plays well above his weight. Kinescu distributing from dummy half. Straight out to Sandy. Have a look at him. Little stand up. Hold the ball in 2 hands, and away he goes. Beats the first attempted tackle. And then the support. Tapia was actually held back. Sandy knew he was supposed to be coming, and certainly after shedding that attempted tackle on Tapia, he breaks through, break clear. Plenty of support from Redcliffe, and they get across for the first try. They've been threatening, and it's mainly been through their little halfback. Have a look at this. Jamie Sandy beats Belfort. That was Belfort's tackle, man on man. Number 7 on 7. Should have taken him. See Tapia held back there by Jenner. Finally gets his way through. Robin Thorne was in support on the outside also, but Sandy knew that Tapia was coming. He hadn't realised he'd been held back for a moment or two. Tapia brushed through it to score Redcliffe's first try and his 4th for the season.
So Trevor Benson has this attempted goal set up, 75% kicking average this season. Moves in, strikes it up, go the flags, no mistake. And now Redcliffe move out to an early lead of 6 points to 0. There's the restart from Samuelson. Redcliffe 6-0.
An important feature in today's game has been the fact that the reserve grade went into extra time. So these guys were waiting around in the dressing room before the game, and ultimately after extra time, South ran out winners over the Diehards by 15 points to 14 in reserve grade. The Diehards had their revenge though earlier in the C grade when they won that game 8 points to 4 over South. But in terms of the effect on this game, the coaches would have had their players ready to go at 3 o'clock. That wasn't the case. The game did not get underway until almost 3:15. So they've been cooling their heels.
Wynnum-Manly now. Scott, great tackle. Just short of his own quarterway.
Keogh's actually knocked one of his own players there in that passage of play. Lewis taking the ball up, has caught Redcliffe offside, and a penalty has gone to Wynnum-Manly. And it's once again we see Brian Niebling getting up, favouring that arm. It could be the shoulder again that's plagued him all season, and that'd be a tragedy for the Dolphins should they lose the experience and power of Brian Niebling. There he is, that right arm hanging limply by his side.
Wynnum-Manly now, Tessman. Take play up to the halfway line from the second kick. Turner takes play just inside of Redcliffe's territory. Good bumping run, Turner.
Lewis organising things on the left.
Jenner, long cut-out pass, finds Scott. But, he breaks the tackle, but then loses the ball. Still on the ground. Knock on those, says referee Eddie Ward. Well, interesting, Benson was receiving some tutoring this week from Wallaby 5'8", Michael Liner, and doesn't seem to have taken his advice too much today so far on his performance.
One charge down, and the other kick I can recall went straight down the throat of Colin Scott, so they're going to have to fix up their kicking game.
Redcliffe in possession as they work it out. It's the quarterway. Bleakley to play it back. Kinescu, Brown running strongly straight up the middle. Brown steps out of one tackle, a tackle of Petrie. It takes play 10 metres short of the halfway line.
Dave Brown hasn't played a lot of football in the last few weeks either, so Vanderbilt will be looking for an all-out performance in the first half. If necessary, he'll replace him.
Thorne to get up and play it. Goes back to Benson. Let's see what he does with this one. Well, another ordinary kick straight down the throat again of Scott, who takes it nicely on his own quarterway.
Once again, though, the man that was putting him under pressure was Tony Jamott, working out of that marker position and harassing Benson.
Lewis onto his brother Scott Lewis. Nice long pass out to Nichols as he recovered from his injuries up towards the halfway line. Benson comes across and cover defence, takes him in a nice tackle, Benson. Puts him to ground just short of the 22. Naylor. Lewis Long cut out pass to Wally Lewis. They've got men over here. Wynnum-Manly goes to Miles. Up towards the quarterway. Still going. Miles has support but couldn't get it away. Now he does. Still alive. Scott with it. Close to that touchline though. Almost bundled into touch and
touched in flight. 6 to go. So Wynnum-Manly got plenty of time to get the points on.
Wynnum-Manly applying the pressure. Turner straight ahead. There's the settler. Takes it to 15 metres out from the try line. Redcliffe leads 6 points to 0. 24 minutes remaining in the first half. They work it wide. Lewis is on the ground, scoops it back for his support Samuelson. Now Belford, still going Belford. Plenty of defence there though. Only 10 metres out Wynnum-Manly, setting it up on the blind side. Lewis, switch in play, back to Samuelson. Turner up the middle. Oh, had he been a yard faster, he may have got through that gap. A little bit slow though. Samuelson with the dummy half position. Lewis setting it up on the blind side. There's a drop goal attempt. It's going to wobble over, I think. Yes, it does. 1 point.
Tony Jamot must have had himself in the double. I don't think it was the time to have a go at it. But there it is, 6-1. Redcliffe leading Wynnum-Manly.
So there's the restart by Redcliffe. They lead by 6-1. 22 minutes remaining in the first half.
Redcliffe lead by 6-1, and the lost ball at the moment, 7 to Wynnum-Manly and only 1 to Redcliffe. So whilst Wynnum-Manly are playing a rather flamboyant style of play, which is really their a characteristic of their play, they're dropping far too much ball.
Swinging it wide on their own try line. Belford, Naylor, they create the extra man. Naylor still going. Sandy has him though. Clings to him.
Classy stuff there from Belford.
Miles. Well, they're going to swing it, Wynnum-Manly. Lewis standing in the tackle. Oh, it's knocked down though, knock on.
And Bowen on the track.
Wynnum-Manly scrum. Belford the open side. Lewis. Samuelson. Scott chiming in from the fullback position. Runs across field though. Cherry and Tapia the tacklers. Tessman on the blind side. Benson doggedly in around the legs. Cherry again lending a hand. Now they'll swing it. Out to Miles. Has to change direction now. Finds Scott. Still going Scott. Gets his pass off to Lewis. Back in field. Wally Lewis. Hot potato stuff. They're keeping it alive, Wynnum-Manly. Turner again. Good backing up, but they're not going forward, Wynnum-Manly. Jenner. Naylor. Long pass. Can't beat the tackle of Tapia though. Pull down 10 metres short. 5th and final tackle. Samuelson decides to run it. Good move. Up into territory now of Redcliffe. It's gone to ground. Donnelly has it.
Oh, good work initially from Samuelson. Probably took a couple of paces too many on the infield. He should have been looking straight back out after he'd made the initial break because he knew he originally had support there. They did follow him through and a pace too far.
Redcliffe have it. Niebling running wide. Good work. It's his pass away to Thorne. Thorne almost up to the halfway mark.
Well, both sides troubling their opponent's defensive patterns. There's plenty of gaps out there.
Teven with a good strong run. Takes play 10 metres inside of Wynnum-Manly's territory now. Redcliffe lead 6 points to 1. 13 minutes remaining in this first half. Donnelly. Nice tackle by Belford. Cut him down. Swing it back the other way. Benson puts the boot to it. Midfield bomb, Redcliffe players storming through. Well taken though by Wally Lewis. He in turn tackled by State of Origin partner Greg Konescu. So Wynnum-Manly with the ball, 20 metres out from their own try line. Miles injecting himself once again into some open spaces. Gene Miles, where's the support though? I think he turned the wrong way. Had them on his outside. Turner with the settler. Marches play 35 metres out from his own try line. Lewis. Belford is the move. Switches it back inside to Tessman. Oh, nicely cut down though. Good tackle by Konescu. 5th tackle. Samuelson for the line. Thorne's back there. There's Donnelly in support. Now he finds Donnelly. Well done. Donnelly almost up to the quarterway before he's taken down.
Need to go on with it now. Wynnum-Manly in disarray.
Very slow to get back, Wynnum-Manly. Dave Brown taking it straight ahead, steps out of the tackle of Wally Lewis, still going Dave Brown. Now he's put the ground.
No silly pass in from Brown, that's better football.
Sandy looks to swing it wide, finds some open spaces. Sandy for the try line, he'll score. Well, he's just sliced them straight up the middle. Jamie Sandy, and brings it round underneath the uprights.
Super solo try from Jamie Sandy. He set up the first, he scored the second on his own. Brilliant effort. Jamie Sandy is yet to be signed by a Sydney club, and he was quoted during the weekend by saying that he was going to show them in the final series that he was good enough to play in Sydney next year, and he's going to wait for the offers. Have a look at this. He should get some after the game. Zip, zip, around he goes, mesmerise the opposition, and then the acceleration to go on with it. Great solo effort from Jamie Sandy. Loves playing at half back. The chunks of turf are flying out of the boots as he comes around to put it down right under the sticks. They're going to have to watch Jamie Sandy in today's game if Wynnum-Manly are going to win it. Look at this. He goes past two of their best defenders. There goes Lewis, there goes Tessman, and then Colin Scott caught unawares. He's got enough pace to get away from a diving Colin Scott, and Jamie Sandy brings it around, checking the boots, making sure they're still there. His 12th try of the season.
Trevor Benson should make no mistake, has this one set right in front, moves in, and up go the flags, and surprisingly, Redcliffe lead, 12 points to 1. Samuelson with the restart. I say surprisingly because 10 minutes remaining. I don't think anyone would have predicted that would be the scoreline at this stage, David, 12-1.
No, possibly not, Bill. I think the instructions now from the Redcliffe bench must be, though, that they've got to keep Wynnum-Manly trialists in this first half. Wynnum-Manly are so potent when it gets close to the last couple of minutes in each half. So I've got no doubt Vandervelde, who's just had his runner out there, Ross Franklin, issuing instructions. It would be a case of, OK, let's not go back into our shell, but there's one thing we've got to remember, and that's defence.
Niebling, well, Niebling has exposed their defence once again, has the ball on the outside and inside. Teeman with it. They'll go on with the Redcliffe underneath the post. Teeman scores. As easy as that.
Magnificent football from the Dolphins. Brian Niebling, who was hurt about 10 minutes ago, busts through the first line of defence. And have a look at this for a class bit of ball handling when he picks his right option. We'll have a look at this right from the play the ball as Niebling charges through the line of defence off Sandy. Niebling hits the accelerator. No moving up there from Wynnum-Manly. Belford missed the first tackle, but have a look at this. His first option was Cherry. Realised he was covered. He says, hang on a sec, that's a better option, that one. Back inside to Teevan. You won't catch this guy. Straight in under the sticks, and Redcliffe are running right here at the moment. There's the big fellow Brian Niebling brushing through tackles like they weren't there, and they just about weren't. This will look terrific. There he says, okay, I know I've got Cherry. There he is out there. Hang on, the cover defence is there. I'll leave him alone. I'll bring Teevan back the other way. It's exactly what happened. Good backing up play from Rowan Teevan, a class centre he is, and Redcliffe piling on the power.
Well, a case of deja vu for Trevor Benson. Only a minute ago he was in the exact same position. And a chance here to increase Redcliffe's lead even further. Up go the flags, he does so. They now move out to a very commanding lead of 18 points to 1.
Replacement here, Doug Belford leaving the field. It looks like Brad Morgan is coming on the far side, and undoubtedly Scott Lewis to play half back.
Kick off from Gene Miles, fielded by Keogh. Well, Redcliffe running wild at this stage. They lead 18-1.
Wasn't Brad Morgan at all. Steve Hazel it is that's come on. And if my shit is right, he's wearing 47 jersey.
Almost gridiron, David.
That's him out there with the strapping on the right knee. And it does look like 47 he's got on.
Number 47, Hazel, replacing Belford. Injured neck by the looks of it. He was walking off. Redcliffe with the ball. Touch finder from Benson. That looks like a better kick. Yes, it is. Into touch.
Well, when you're hot, the Dolphins really fired up now. 18-1 they lead with 7 minutes to go in the first half.
7-4 the scrums, favouring Redcliffe. One against the feed, Wynnum-Manly. Lewis standing up in the line. Scott, I should say, up in the line. Just inside of Redcliffe's territory. Tessman, the settler. Steps out of the tackle of Tapia. Good, strong, determined run. Takes play 15 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory. Petrie. Turner. Tapia right around the ankles. Lewis trying to set it up. Jenner out to Scott. Reaches for it, but fields it in nicely. But has been intercepted by Cherry. And now Knuth has it. There's some room to move. Knuth still going up towards the halfway mark.
Scott Lewis.
Had to come in from his opposite wing, Scott Lewis. Well, has he in fact moved into the halfback position? I think Hazel's on the wing. Knuth to play it back. Dave Brown, he's been a little quiet today.
Well, hasn't played a lot of football in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Had a problem with a back injury. Still bringing the ball up strongly, Dave.
Sandy, Benson, Cherry, trying to stand up Naylor, but he clings to him. Just inside of Wynnum-Manly's territory. Teven goes for a run. Benson now with a little chip kick, has been charged down. Samuelson has it. Well done. Scoops the pass off the ground. That may have gone forward. Sandy to feed this scrum. Comes up with a win. Lewis offside. No.
Feet up in the scrum there from Petrie, the hooker. And a great chance for Redcliffe now to really put the nail in the coffin. 3 minutes, that's plenty of time to work you up 6 tackles. And Gene Miles down injured.
Benson with the touch finder. Takes play up to just inside the quarterway. Niebling with a full head of steam. He busted them before.
Once again, Wynnum-Manly not moving up. They're just giving them plenty of easy territory.
Sandy. Tapia back inside. Oh, a heavy tackle from Lewis, but he bounced out of it. 5 metres short. Redcliffe on the attack. The blind side, Konescu. Oh, could go into touch. Just manages to stay in the field of play. Keogh in the dummy half position. Niebling, Sandy, Benson. Men over here, Redcliffe, Brown up the middle. Back inside, Bleakley for the line. He'll score! Yes, he makes it over the try line. And that could just about be the nail. That's 6. Wynnum-Manly.
There it is. Redcliffe know they've won it. Look at the jubilation. They know they're going to be back in 2 weeks' time to play the loser of Norse and Brothers. And it's been through some good ball handling. Have a look at Dave Brown. Out nice and wide off Benson. There he is. Through the first line of defence. And then turns back on the inside. This guy, pound for pound, one of the best footballers going around. Steve Bleakley busts through 3 Wynnum-Manly tacklers. Left him in his wake to put it down and seal it for Redcliffe. And we're saying that because it's only just coming up to half-time. The premiers of last season won't play in the rest of the finals. You can count on that because here, Dave Brown stands in the tackle, fires it back to Bleakley. Look at the work he had to do. Desperate diving, brushes through over the try line. Steve Bleakley, his 5th try.
And Benson in that familiar position, right in front, and raises the flags. Redcliffe 24, Wynnum-Manly 1. Samuelson, the restart. There's the try scorer, Bleakley.
Well, Gene Miles has not been replaced yet. Of course, he did have an ankle injury during the season that hampered him in a number of the big matches, but he has not been replaced yet. Wynnum-Manly playing with 12, only seconds to go up till half-time. They'll obviously try and get him recovered and have a last attempt in the second half. But with only seconds remaining, another penalty has gone to the Dolphins.
And there's the half-time hooter. Benson makes good yardage. 10 metres inside of Wynnum-Manly's territory. There's the second kick. They'll swing it wide. Benson puts the boot through. There's the chasers. Good midfield bomb. Plenty of Wynnum-Manly players there. Nichols under it and takes it nicely. Put the ground. That'll be the half-time score. Redcliffe leading Wynnum-Manly 24 points to 1. Well, Redcliffe really running right in that first half, clocking up 24 points. They did it courtesy of tries to Tapia, Sandy, Teven and Bleakley, and Benson has kicked 4 from 4 so far. Wynnum-Manly, they've only scored 1 point. That was courtesy of Jamot's field goal. In the scrums department, Redcliffe lead them by 7-5, and against the feed, 1-all. The penalties, 2-all, and the scrum penalties also 1 apiece. Well, David, Wynnum-Manly doing it tough at the moment, and if Gene Miles is in fact injured, they're certainly going to have the uphill battle in the second half.
Yeah, Bill, they're shot birds, I think, without a doubt. Their defence has been their problem all year around the middle of the ruck. They haven't rectified that by any means, and I think Redcliffe have exploited it very well. They've attacked very well, but really, Wynnum-Manly's defence has been atrocious. A couple of those missed tackles, you can't afford to miss tackles in a knockout semi-final. There's no tomorrow for them, and I can't see them coming back, even with Lewis and as you say, Miles injured, so even if he does play, he's not going to be 100%.
Well, there's the hooter for the second half. Let's see how it unfolds. And there's the restart. Redcliffe kicking off, goes down to Wally Lewis, and David Gene Miles is back on the field.
Well, they're certainly going to need Gene Miles if they are going to hit back. He seemed to run back fairly freely, and I've got no doubt that he's probably had a painkiller at the half-time break, and he'll be looking to inspire the side in the second half. The inspiration will have to come in the early minutes. They'll have to believe they've got a chance to win. At 24-1 at the moment, not much of a chance.
There's the big boot of Gene Miles, and there's Darryl Vandervelde. He'd be a happy man at this stage.
My word, the Redcliffe coach, Darryl Vandervelde, very proud of his side in the first half. 24-1, he'll be sitting there and just thinking about that first half and having said to his players, I'm sure, that they must restrict the scoring of Wynnum-Manly in the early 10 or 15 minutes. Tackles in the first half. Wynnum-Manly 127, Redcliffe 108. Not a great deal in that, but there it is. There's the big statistic. Misses. 17 missed tackles from Wynnum-Manly, only 8 from Redcliffe. If we look at the top personal efforts, Petrie 20, Turner 16, and Jamot 15 for Wynnum, and that's exactly where Redcliffe have taken them on, straight up the middle. And then Redcliffe defence, Niebling, what a courageous effort. 15 from him, even though he's injured for a short time. To Pyre 14, and Cherry and Bleakley sharing 13 apiece.
Well fielded there by Colin Scott.
Looked like Steve Cherry under that tackling effort as well. Number 14, he was selected to do exactly that. Plenty of defence, it's exactly what he's done. And a good tactical selection here from coach Darryl Vandervelde. He kept Doyle out, put Bleakley in for the big game.
Wynnum-Manly with the ball, trying to spark some attack. Samuelson goes for a run. Cherry gathers him in from behind though and puts him to ground, 10 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory. It's Jamot, midway between the quarter and the half.
Lewis and Jenner with something on.
They're lined out deep here at the back line. Miles, Scott has to reach for that one. Teven though claims him quickly and puts him to ground. Well done. Lewis, Scott Lewis for touch. Thorne, takes it and tiptoes along the touch line. Did well to stay in the field of play. And works it back to the quarterway. KO. Wally Lewis in to do some heavy work. Canescu himself. What's the chance, David, that Wally Lewis will go back to 5'8"?
Well, I think he should have been there in the first place, Bill, but I think the horse has bowled it now. If I was Lewis, I would have had a tackling machine in the forward pack to do something like 40 or 50 tackles, where it was always known their weakness was. I don't think it matters too much now. I think it's just a case of, throw it at all costs for Wynnum. They've really just got to open things up, hope some magic passes stick, and I guess Lewis is the man to control that aspect.
Naylor goes for the high ball. Teven once again right on him. Lewis. Scott. Back inside to Samuelson.
Gee, this Redcliffe defence has been good. Looks like an error there from Wynnum-Manly, but every time Wynnum have tried and a penalty, Scott Nichols must have got in there at the last to try and recover the ball. Penalty for stealing. Eddie Ward decided that the ball should have been played.
Can they put another try on the board? Work it wide. KO this time. Pull down 10 metres short of the try line. Canescu into the dummy half position. Sandy. Benson. Out to Cherry. Beats the tackle of Miles. Still going. Oh! Donnelly, if he could have taken that.
Well, he did everything right, Steve Cherry. Nice little flick pass back on the inside. Donnelly should have taken it. Here it is. Cherry got around his man and then scooted away, taking all the cover defence with him. Back inside. Donnelly positioned himself nicely. Just couldn't handle the flick pass. Try went begging.
So a lucky escape there for Wynnum-Manly. Penalty to Wynnum. Not packing straight, I think, was the signal. Redcliffe front row.
Penalty still favouring Redcliffe, though, by 5-4. Redcliffe have had 3-2 in the second half.
It's a better kick for touch by Wynnum-Manly. There's the second kick. Gene Miles on the boil. Takes play 10 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory and loses it. Penalty again. And a bit of a scuffle on here. Dave Brown.
Get out of it. Brownie can smile. He knows his side's leading 24-1. not really too worried as Gene Miles once again gets up and hobbles away. Still got enough energy to have a couple of comments though. Wynnum-Manly got a replacement warming up on the far side, Brian Coyne.
They'll have to do something here, Wynnum-Manly. They trail 24-1. And there's only 27 minutes remaining in this match now. Jenner starts to spark up on the blind side. But look at the Redcliffe defence swarming over the top of him. They've got it out wide, Wynnum, if they can stretch it. Lewis, though, caught. Hazel.
Got to get deeper, Wynnum-Manly. They want to get it out wide. You've got to get a bit of depth in your attack.
Petrie, good scooting run from dummy half. Wally Lewis into the dummy half position. Samuelson, back inside to Testman, he'll score, yes, reaches over and puts it down. Wynnum strike back, but it may be too late.
Well, at least they have struck back. Big Testman, pretty hard to stop from that sort of position, but a good passage of play to set it up. Lewis, a couple of paces out of dummy half, fires it out, I think it was to Samuelson. Let's have a look, and then back on the inside. Once again, wrong footing the defence, Testman up the middle. Jamie Sandy wasn't going to stop him then, as try as he might. But have a look at it from head on. Pretty hard to stop a big man like Testman. Lewis a couple of paces. Samuelson one way. Here comes Testman up the middle. See you later, Bob Keogh. Jamie Sandy stood his ground. Testman over the top. Wynnum-Manly's first try. Andrew Testman second for the season.
And Samuelson with the attempted goal moves in and up go the flags. So Wynnum-Manly back in the match now. They trail 24-7. Benson, the restart for Redcliffe.
Well, Bill, a couple of interesting things happened there after the try. Firstly, it took a long time for Redcliffe to get back and kick off. Well, OK, there's 25 minutes left to go. They're up 24-7, but it's too early to start wasting time. Redcliffe want to get their mind right on the job because Wynnum-Manly are just decide that now they've got one try, they could easily run in a couple more. The other interesting thing was that Brian Coyne was ready to come on and replace Gene Miles. Miles said, I'm OK, so Coyne's back on the bench.
Yeah, Gene seems okay, but hasn't involved himself a lot in the second half. Turner just manages to hold on to it. Fifth tackle, says the referee. Still loose on the ground. Oh, that's sloppy play from Wynnum-Manly. Really disorganised. Scott forced in the end to take the kick and straight down the throat of Keogh, who runs it back to 10 metres inside of Wynnum-Manly's territory. Conescu himself. Scott Lewis claims him and puts him to ground. Sandy to Pye. I thought the little knock on there. Teven. Still 10 metres inside of Wynnum's territory. Niebling seems to recover from that heavy knock just before. Pye into the dummy half. Sandy. Brown lurking wide. Still going Brown. Can't get his pass away though. And plenty of support. Fifth tackle, says the referee. Conescu into the dummy half position. Sandy to Benson. The bomb. They're all streaming through. Nichols still loose on the ground. He's offside. Has to be.
Jamot had no option there, Tony Jamot, but to dive on it with Redcliffe continuing to come through. Scott Nichols thought that the Redcliffe players may have all been offside in front of the kicker. But a penalty here gone to Redcliffe. Here it is. The charge through on Nichols. He doesn't take it cleanly. And then Jamot in front of the last man to touch the ball in an offside position.
So Trevor Benson has this one set. 5 metres in from touch. 4 from 4 so far. Great record. And he's on the quarterways. He moves in. Strikes it. Waves away though. It'll come back to the quarterway for the restart. Naylor takes the quick 22 restart. Donnelly takes it on the fly. Works it back up to halfway. Oh, he's grabbed by the jersey though. Nothing illegal about that. As Thorne works it across field.
Oh, he fell awkwardly, Robin Thorne, but he's okay.
Keogh starting to fire up. Or Jamot, I should say, for Wynnum-Manly. Conescu, Brown. Starting to involve himself a little more in the second half, Dave Brown. 10 metres inside of Wynnum's territory. They work the blind side. Cherry runs around Lewis. Supports were forced to come back on the inside. Ran out of room. Benson puts the boot to it. Straight up and down though. Taken by KO, but that was the 5th tackle. That'll be the changeover.
Well, Brian Niebling's not having a lot of luck. He was knocked down without the ball again. It's a hard enough game getting tackled when you've got it. There he is, Niebling, but he's up and back into it.
Wally Lewis and the crowd yelling out to tackle him. Has it 10 metres short of the halfway line. Wynnum-Manly in possession.
Good defence, Redcliffe. Gee, they defended well today. Wynnum-Manly have tried to get it out wide a couple of times, but they've been everywhere. This fella's had a terrific game, Cherry. Made a couple of breaks offloaded, which is unusual for Steve Cherry, but he's also tackled very well.
Samuelson was definitely tripped, and Eddie Ward saw it and is awarded a penalty.
Well, the game's not over as yet. 24-7, 20 minutes to go. Wynnum-Manly desperate for another 6-pointer.
Hazel will go himself. The lightweight winger takes play 15 metres out from Redcliffe's try line. Wynnum-Manly on the attack. Turner.
Here comes the set move now. A couple of settlers.
Working it towards the middle, Wynnum-Manly. Setting something up. There's the runners. Jenner. Oh, Redcliffe defence unmoved. Jenner pulled down. Niebling. Well, you have to hit him with a piece of 4x2, I think, Brian Niebling. They swing it wide. Samuelson's put it to ground. Knocked backwards, though, says the referee. Still on. Scott gets his pass out, but it's gone to ground. Now Redcliffe have it. Pull down. 10 metres short of the halfway line. They'll stretch it back the other way. Sandy goes for a run. Spots a gap. Just slips, though. It's claimed by Samuelson. Everyone wants to run with it for Redcliffe.
Good roll-on play from Redcliffe. You make the initial bust and then you keep the defence going backwards. So Sandy first and then KO straight on again. Been a very well-drilled display, this one from the Dolphins. And the loser of next week between Brothers and Norse won't want to think this will be an easy game against Redcliffe.
They're coming home strongly. Donnelly into open spaces up to the quarterway. Tackle, though, right on the quarterway by Scott. The last line of defence. They work at the blind side to Pyer. Brown, back inside. It's gone to ground. Wynnum will come up with it. Oh, they've lost it and he's offside.
Well, they're confusing themselves, Wynnum-Manly. They realise the urgency of the situation now. They almost got a score from every team. But here's Scott Lewis. Looks for Gene Miles. Bang, straight off Miles. Couldn't handle it. Scott Nichols in front. Offside, penalty to Redcliffe. How many tackles, Brad, for Greg Kinescu? Did his job with around about a dozen tackles.
So Powell, wearing number 16, is a replacement player. He slots into the hooking position, and there's the first glimpse of him. Giving Hazel a bit of attention. And he's in on the next tackle on Turner as well. Wynnum-Manly with the ball. Midway between the quarter and the halfway line, their own territory. Samuelson has to juggle. There's the switch to Lewis. Oh, Jenner probably up offside there. So the referee lets it go. Still standing. Where's the support? Fires it back inside. Wally Lewis. Into some open spaces, Wally Lewis. Up over the halfway mark. Plenty of support. Naylor with it now. They're keeping it alive. Turner puts it to the ground and Redcliffe will come up with it.
Lewis looks away in disgust. All the good work done by Lewis. There's Darryl Vanderbilt. He's not too concerned, or he's still got the two-way with him though as he walks back to his place in the grandstand. But Wynnum-Manly shown glimpses today. They've certainly always been a good attacking unit, but you must be able to finish off. Some good build-up, all for nothing.
Turner again, the big front rower, up there in support.
Looks like Dave Brown leaving the field once again. He's a guy who's done his job. Could be Boxall ready to come on. But Dave Brown, who hasn't played a lot of football in the last month, certainly has enjoyed himself because the defence from Wynnum-Manly haven't been moving up. And yes, it is. Boxall, number 15, coming on from Dave Brown. There they are, the two of them. And Dave Brown getting a generous round of applause from the Dolphin supporters because he certainly has played his part.
Colin Scott tackled 10 metres out from his own try line. Lewis. Hazel. Redcliffe defence, though. Plenty of it. Working at the open side. It's Nichols. Samuelson to Lewis. They'll run it. Lewis still going. Back inside to Samuelson, but look, no one there. Finally cleaned up by Jamot. And that's Nichols.
Ball went forward. That last pass, that one from Jamot to Nichols. Another replacement day for Wynnum-Manly. Peter Sibley's come on in the hooking position to replace Darren Petrie.
So starting to make some changes with Wynnum-Manly, but might be a little bit too late.
Well, Darren Petrie could have been replaced through exhaustion. Come up with 40 tackles today.
It's a mammoth effort.
Great effort from Wynnum. Not enough, though, because Redcliffe have still been able to find the gaps.
Wynnum-Manly with the ball. Miles. 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Still in his own territory. Jenner standing wide, looking for runners, but no one there. Brian takes the tackle.
Brian Coyne's finally got on there, and he's replaced John Turner. Coyne wearing number 17.
So the replacement's coming thick and fast now. It's Colin Scott still going. Scott, he's done well. He's carried the Redcliffe player halfway down the field with him. Lewis, little chip kick. Where's the followers? Sandy has it. Oh, almost a collision there. Sandy takes it, was tackled. 10 metres out from his own try line. KO goes himself from dummy half. Only seven minutes remaining now in the match. Redcliffe lead 24-7. That's Powell, the replacement player for Redcliffe. Just working it out, Redcliffe. KO goes himself. Boxall now in support. Boxall still going, brushing defenders aside with ease and finds Bleakley up the middle. Bleakley up over the halfway mark, has support. Can't get it away though. Taken to ground by Colin Scott.
Had Curtis Powell in support, but he was covered, so Bleakley took the tackle. That's the way to do it. Then carry on.
Niebling back inside to Donnelly. Well, Wynnum-Manly very slowly to regroup, and Redcliffe certainly taking advantage of that. Sandy keeping it alive. Niebling with it. Back inside to Donnelly again. Pull down. 30 metres out from the try line.
Once again, Wynnum-Manly gaps in the middle of the ruck. That's what's cost them.
Niebling to Pyer, finding Tooben up the middle, and he's just lost it. And Miles dives on it for Wynnum-Manly. Let off there for Wynnum-Manly. Samuelson slung to ground. And Niebling finishes him off. Tessman up to the quarterway. Wynnum-Manly in possession. Lewis, long cut-out pass, went to ground. And Redcliffe come up with it. Boxall working at the open side. Pull down, 15 metres short of the try line. Benson at the Thorn. Tries to stand up Wally Lewis, but he clings to him. Puts him to ground, 15 metres out. Well, that's the 10-metre line. Tapia working the run around. Finds it back inside to Cherry. Cherry gets his pass to Bleakley, and that's a try.
Well, that's the one that Darryl Vanderbilt wanted. He wanted to try in the second half to show they could keep the pressure on. They've done that. What a good try it was. Once again, straight up the middle of the ruck. Wynnum-Manly have really found it difficult to defend in this area, and the ball skills of Ashley Tapia. Look at this. Danced around there like a ballerina. Found Steve Cherry. He's had a blinder today, Steve Cherry, along with his captain, Steve Bleakley, to go across and score the try. They kept probing and probing in the middle of the ruck, and it came about for some good ball play. There it is, Tapia. Cherry in, around, out. Brought the defence into him. Steve Bleakley across for his 6th try of the season.
So Trevor Benson with that great record of 4 from 5 with the attempted goal. That looks pretty good. Up go the flags. And now Redcliffe moving right out. 30-7 they lead Wynnum-Manly. There's the restart from Wynnum-Manly. Only 4 minutes remaining in the match.
Finally, Gene Miles has succumbed to the ankle injury that he suffered a couple of minutes before half-time, and he's been replaced by number 20, Greg Street.
Powell goes himself from dummy half and makes some good yardage up the middle. where Wynnum-Manly have been weak all day around the edges of the rucks. Redcliffe working it up back towards the halfway mark. Benson will play it back. Niebling has been the workhorse today, living up to his name. Ryan Niebling, the horse. It's the halfway mark. Powell will play it back. Bleakley, the try scorer, gets off cut out past the Thorn. Comes up to Hazel, beats Hazel easily. Has the ball back inside, but can't beat the tackle of Scott. And Scott pulls him down just 10 metres short of the try line.
Probably could have done a little bit more to find that support.
That came off a Wynnum-Manly player, so it's still alive. Boxall has it. And he didn't singles.
Well, only a
Single
rebound.
six to go.
Didn't play at it from Wynnum, so rightly a changeover.
Hazel himself from dummy half. Up to the quarterway. Lewis. Switch and play back to the blind side. It's Jamot. Tackle on the quarterway. Tessman. To Lewis. To Samuelson. Now they start to swing it wide. Has to reach back for it though. Replacement player for Wynnum-Manly. And his tackle on the quarterway.
Greg Street it is.
Greg Street, almost intercepted Redcliffe. It's a couple of times now Redcliffe have almost intercepted Wally Lewis's passes.
Quick look at the stats in the game. In tackles, missed tackles, 29 missed tackles from Wynnum-Manly, only 13 from Redcliffe, and in the lost ball department, 21 lost ball to Wynnum and only 11 to Redcliffe. So a far better performance from Redcliffe today. Wynnum-Manly will be disappointed. They've come so close, and yet this is the end of the season for them. In the defensive department, Petrie did 40 tackles while he was on there. Wynnum-Manly kick and chase Brian Naylor.
Brian Naylor's got plenty of pace too. That ball bouncing on the quarterway. Naylor's still after him to try and put it on the toe. Misses it completely though, and Redcliffe come up with it. Donnelly has possession.
Didn't Robin Thorne fly down there? He made sure he got back. Donnelly was there to help him as well. And Redcliffe are assured that another try isn't going to go on for Wynnum. As I said, Petrie, and he was only on for about 70 minutes of the game. He got 40 tackles, Jamot 28, Turner 26. And then for Redcliffe, the top tacklers, Niebling 29, Tupaia 26. Just as I talk about the tackles, here's the kick through now from that scrum. This is the replay of it. Naylor tried to get there. He did get there just first. He was almost tackled before he played at the ball, but Redcliffe recover in time.
Redcliffe in possession, just short of the halfway mark, still in their own territory. Goes to Benson. There's a little kick, charged down by Wynnum-Manly. Play on. Sandy was onside. The Wynnum-Manly player who touched it put him onside. Bleakley has it, 6 to go, says the referee. Redcliffe want to try to finish with. 40 seconds remaining. Can they do it? Powell. Boxall. Running strongly. He was a regular A grader not long ago, Boxall. That's how strong Redcliffe are in the forwards. Brian Niebling works it up to the quarterway. Still going, Brian Niebling, carrying Samuelson up the field with him. How strong is he?
What a great game he's had, Niebling. Getting up slowly, but he's just wasting time now.
The blind side. Donnelly holds it up. Can't get his pass away and is put to ground. Powell. Work at the blind side. At the Thorn. Oh, crunching tackle though by Tessman. So countdown's on. 2 seconds to go. 1. Night, Seagulls. They're finished for 1987. And Redcliffe now goes through to the preliminary final with a resounding win over Wynnum-Manly, 30 points to 7. So Redcliffe really going on with the job in the second half, running out easy winners in the end by 30 points to 7. You can say goodbye to Wynnum-Manly for 1987. They were never really in the hunt today, and Redcliffe were deserved winners. They'll now go on to the preliminary final, which we played in a fortnight's time, and that will be against the loser of next week's major semi-final. Let's take a look at the statistics in today's game. Just the one try to Wynnum-Manly, that was to Tessman. Redcliffe, on the other hand, plenty of try scorers there. 1 to Tupaia, 1 to Sandy, 1 to Tevan, and 2 to Bleakley. Great effort from him. The goal-kicking department, Samuelson for Wynnum-Manly kicked 1 from 1 and a field goal to Jamot. And for Redcliffe, Benson kicked 5 from 6. Also a great day with the boot for him. In the scrums department, Wynnum-Manly won them 10-9. Against the feed went Wynnum's way also 2-1. The penalties 7-all, and scrum penalties Wynnum's way 2-1. Okay, time for our regular segment now of the man of the match. And David writes down in the dressing rooms with a winner.
Well, thanks, Bill. And as you can see, there's not a lot of him, but he did certainly play a big part in today's game. Winfield Cup man of the match, Jamie Sandy. Jamie, I thought, especially there in the first half, that you were finding plenty of gaps up the middle of that Wynnum-Manly ruck.
Yeah, I found a lot of holes there. I was quite surprised they left them for me, and the forwards really made it easy for me to get through.
Had a big lead at half-time, 24-1 at half-time. What did Darryl have to say at half-time?
Well, just to relax and just keep on playing the same kind of football, and just don't get overexcited and just keep the same pattern.
Must be a nice feeling, 2-week break now.
It's a good 2 week break. We'll earn rest, and you know, we don't know who we're going to play. Like everyone said, Brother's going to win, but you know, everyone said Wynnum was going to win today, so just don't know.
All right, great effort yourself and good luck in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Otto.
Well, Jamie Sandy was the destroyer in the early part of the game. He set up the first try and a great solo effort for his second, but he had plenty of support from his teammates. Steve Cherry, I thought, had one of the best games I've seen him play, and for Darryl Vanderveld to bring him in at this late stage of the season really is a feather in his cap, because it was a good tactical move. Also in the forwards, I thought Tupaia played well. Dave Brown and Brian Niebling, they had plenty of latitude up the middle of the ruck, and they exploited every opportunity. So Redcliffe can feel very pleased. On the other hand, Wynnum, very disappointing.
Yeah, thanks, David. And I certainly know that Redcliffe's coach, Darryl Vanderveld, will be a happy man. I was talking to him earlier in the week, as I said before. He was very confident going into today's game, and I think Redcliffe now will give this premiership a big shake. And the game next week between Brothers and Norths, the loser of that certainly won't want to take them lightly. Let's take a look at the results of other games played today. In the reserve grade, Souths defeated Seagull Diehards in a cliffhanger, 15 points to 14. That game was decided in extra time. The third grade went to Seagull Diehards, 8-4, and the Colts went Brothers' way, 24-10. Next week's games, the big one, of course, the major semi-final, Brothers versus Norths in the A grade. The B grade, Brothers and Redcliffe. The C grade, Redcliffe again taking on Logan City, and the Colts, Souths versus Seagull Diehards. But the big one next week, the major semi-final between Brothers and Norths. Should be a great game. Look forward to your company then. See you then.